Hello, I'm Sarah, otherwise known as Yarnmugs. Welcome to my podcast where I chat about knitting, crochet, sewing and the books I've been reading. Today is Friday the 5th of January 2024, so it's my first podcast of the new year. For those that have been following me for a while, you might have watched my Vlogmas over December, so thank you so much for everyone that commented, watched, subscribed, chatted along. It was really positive and a lovely thing to do. So I might have shown some of the things I was working on during Vlogmas, but I will be able to talk about them in a little bit more detail today. So I hope you are all well, hope you've got a warm drink. It's a bit chilly today, just got a cup of tea. Okay, so I think before we start, I just thought I'd have a chat about the things that I've made over the last year, so in 2023. So every year I keep a little notebook and I log all of the makes that I'm making, and what I tend to do is write it on a list with numbers so that I can quickly flick to a page and find the project that I'm working on. And then on my project page I will write what the pattern is, who it's designed by, what needle size I've used, the yarn I've used, and it's a really handy book to reflect back on, especially if I want to make something again and I can see what I did last time. And I log all my rows, but I also write little notes if I need to make any changes. So last year I started 35 projects and I completed, I just wrote them down, I think it was about 26, but that's not including, and I might share with you the things that I made. So in 2023 I made 3 blankets, 1 cardigan, 3 pairs of socks, 1 jumper, 1 pair of scrubs for my nursing friend, 4 hats, 3 hand warmers, 1 shawl, 6 dresses, a granny wrap, 2 hot water bottles, and then the kind of miscellaneous things that I made were project bags, crochet flowers, bookmarks and lavender bags. So yeah, I've had a great year of making. I've made lots of things for other people. That generally is what I do, apart from the dresses. Well, I did make a dress for a friend, but yeah, it's been a really lovely year of a different mixture of things, which is what I really, really like to do. So I've started my next little book for 2024, and I've got this lovely book from Rachel from Sew Me. I sometimes think I look a bit like that person with my hair in a bun, but I love that little image. It's lovely. So I've started my project page, the beginnings, and I'll be carrying over 4 things that I started last year, and they're the things that I'm going to be talking about. So that's lovely, isn't it? So first of all, I'm going to share with you the Scrappy crochet blanket that I've been working on. I don't know how long, I've got no real rush to get this finished. So over December I really, really enjoyed working on this because it's such an easy thing to sit and crochet on. So if you've watched before, you'll remember that I made these 3 not very pretty crochet squares, and that was using the Dainty Diamond pattern. And originally I thought I would just make lots of scrappy squares like that and join them together. But because I wasn't really liking the way I'd done all the colours, I ended up joining them together as a join as you go with this purple yarn. And then ever since then, I've just been going round and round. And I've tried to use complete rounds of colours because I think that middle bit is a bit, it's not very nice on the eye, but I want the outside edge to be a bit nicer on the eye. It's getting nice and big. It's definitely, it's long, but I just need it to be a bit deeper. And I love seeing it like that way, when you see your point and the colours. And I'm not really thinking too much about the colours I'm using. It is just, when I say scrappy, it's just using up my Stylecraft Special DK. I don't tend to, buy, I've got loads of colours. I don't remember why I would have bought that colour because I can't remember that being in any project. But sometimes, I'll buy some yarn for a baby blanket and then I'll just get a bit more just to round it up to get the free delivery. So I've got you know, and again, that colour, I don't think I've ever used that. It's really grass green. So yeah, I've got colours that I know that I'm not going to necessarily use, and I can just bung in this blanket. But it's really nice. I love that I didn't know if that was going to be a bad thing, being long rather than square, so it's kind of a rectangle shape. Some people have said, why don't I just crochet on the long sides just to get that shape a bit squarer? But I like it going all the way around, so I'm just going to plod on and keep growing it. All my ends are sewn in, apart from that one. So I love to do that. I like to be completely all sewn in so that it's nearly ready as a finished. Actually, look, I've just found some more ends. But generally, I do it after every few rows and make sure that's all neat and tidy. So yeah, it's getting there. I'm trying to, like, if I lay it on my lap, it's down to so I'm up to here. So if I'm sitting on the settee, that's quite nice, isn't it? Having it around you, and it goes down to my shins. So yeah, I just feel like I need it a bit longer to feel cozier. I think I will be giving this to my mum and dad. They like wrapping themselves up in cozy things. For anyone that watched my Vlogmas, thank you for all the lovely comments on the hot water bottle covers I made for them. They really, really loved them, so I'm really pleased about that. Someone also said, would I write the pattern? And I have been considering that, especially last year when I first made my own one. It is a very simple pattern, but like you say, sometimes it's nice just to have a simple pattern, isn't it? And be able to follow instructions. So yeah, I am really considering that. Don't really know how I go about doing it, but yeah, now that I've made 3 and they've all worked out lovely, yeah, I might do that. Okay, so that's my crochet Scrappy blanket. I then started, I mentioned there that the middle of that blanket was the Dainty Diamond blanket pattern, which I've used lots of times. All right, let me just make sure I don't mix up all my yarn hooks. Okay, I've got this project in the very first project bag I ever bought, and it's from Betsy Makes. She's not making anymore, lovely Sam, but I absolutely love this. It's a lovely linen with that kind of denim bottom, blue inside. Oh, yeah, there's something kind of nostalgic about that, you know, about your childhood, and I don't know, it's just lovely. I really love it. So in here is another Dainty Diamond blanket. And again, I was working through kind of my leftover yarns, and I think I showed this last time, so I tend to do my crochet in the evening in the dark. I didn't realise when I was making it that I had a cream and a white, and it's only when I showed it, I was like, oh, that's 2 different colours. So I actually had some more cream, so I just thought I'm going to go with that. I'm just going to make a lovely cream and white baby blanket. And again, there's something a bit 70s about that. It just reminds me again of my childhood and baby blankets I would have put on my dolls, or I don't know, there's something kind of traditional. I know my nan made lots of things for babies, and everything generally was in white or cream, or kind of your traditional pale blue or baby pink. So it's kind of reminded me of her as well a bit. I said to my daughter the other day, she said, who's this blanket for? And I was like, well, no one. I went, or it could be for your baby one day. It just made me think, as I was making it, I'm like, oh, it just feels old-fashioned, and I love it. So yeah, I'm going to keep growing that. I might have to buy some white now, but that's fine. But this Dainty Diamond crochet pattern by Ivy and Mabel is really lovely. It's very intuitive once you get the rhythm of the pattern of creating these diamonds. It's just lovely, isn't it? This is my go-to baby blanket pattern. So I'm really pleased with that. But I think, like you say, I think I might have to get some white. Unless I just do, yeah, a really big chunk of the cream and then go back to the white. Yeah, and end up with a kind of big cot-sized blanket, or a blanket you can actually wrap around, yeah, a child. So yeah, lovely. I'm really loving that. And again, over December, it was so nice to just crochet, you know, and not really have to think, you know, too much about about the pattern. It's so simple and easy. The other two things I've been working on were things I started last year as well. So this one here in my lovely Eldenwood craft bag. This is a beautiful winter fabric, beautifully made by Emma. This is my Spring is in the Air Cowl by Lyndsey Tranter. I've made one of these before for me, and I thought I'd make one for my dad. He really likes wearing, you know, a scarf around his neck. This is beautiful yarn, and it's by The Wall Kitchen. It's 80% superwash Blueface Leicester and 20% bamboo. So in fingering weight, actually, is there a colour there? Nebula. So this is really classic Helen from Wall Kitchen. She does these with the flashes of colour and lots of neons, which is really lovely. And it's coming up really nice on this pattern as well. I'm really pleased with it. Let me turn it around. Now, you might not be able to see it. I might just try and stretch it out a bit. Yeah, so you can just, I don't know if you can see, let me make sure I don't drop anything off the needles. You can just see like a kind of a diamond pattern there. So it just gives a little something. There is a nice texture as well here as well in the diamond shape. So there's some yarn overs, some, you know, holy bits. And it just feels nicer than just doing all plain knitting. Can you see that all right? So her pattern was a selection of 6 minis. So you'd create this kind of diamond pattern, and then there'd be a plain bit of knitting, and then you create the next bit with a new yarn. But I'm just going to use the same yarn all the way. I've made a deeper rib, and I'm going to compare it to I should have brought that one down to show you, but I've worn it before. Yeah, I think it's going to be lovely. Oh, look, you can sort of see it there, can't you, when I stretch it out? Yeah, I'm really, really happy. Happy with the lovely flecks of colour as well. Her pattern is really beautifully written and very, very clear. A bit in the style of Helen Stewart, so each row is really described. It's a 28 row repeat, and that's to kind of create these, you know, all these yarn overs and the kind of lace type. Yeah, it's really nice. Very soft, beautiful yarn to work with. So yeah, that's been another nice, easy, it feels like you're just making a big sock, but with a bit of interest with that pattern. Yeah, really pleased with that. So that's been a lovely make. And then my last thing that I've been working on, I've made great progress with this. This is in my project bag that I made. I really love this. It's a perfect sack size for a bigger project. So I'm working on the Felix cardigan, and I showed you this last time, where I'm using 2 skeins of travel knitter yarn in Midnight Fireflies colourway. Larissa is no longer dying, so you can't buy, well, she has had some sale yarn on, so check her out if you're interested. But I had 2 skeins of that and 1 skein of this Beehive yarn. Not last year, maybe the year before, I got her Enchanted yarn club. So I was hoping that flash of turquoise would really match well. And I'm quite happy with it. So let me show you where I'm at. I've made the body, the rib, the button bands, the neck band, and a sleeve. So what do you think now you can see it made? I'll kind of lay it on me. With the contrast yarn, do you think it goes okay? Because I'm quite happy with it. I'm really happy with the fit as well. I don't know if I can put it on with this jumper on as well, but it's the pattern I think calls for Aran weight, and I'm doing DK weight. I'm making the 3rd size, There you go, you kind of get the idea of, and I'm so pleased that it does fit, you know, all the way, like halfway across, because I've got a feeling that I might want to have it done up. Oh, look. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it. The other thing that I did a bit of a longer cuff. I didn't size down for the rib on the bottom of the cardigan because I don't always like it cinching in. I kind of want it kind of boxy. And it looks a funny shape here, but once I've blocked it, it is all exactly in line. I'm pleased with that. I'm pleased that I stick with the bluer yarn for the edging, but this other contrast for the cuffs and the rib. Yeah, I think I'm really pleased with the length of it. I would wear it with jeans and I would wear it over a dress possibly, but I'm feeling like it's probably more for jeans. Oh, the fabric is so soft. Now, last time I was showing you, and again, once it's on, yeah, there you go. That's the Felix with these kind of V's over the shoulder. And I thought I'd made a couple of mistakes, but you know, if there is, no one's going to really notice that. Yeah, I'm really pleased with the neck and yeah, I just hope I can keep it still nice for when I block it. So, yeah, when I got to this part, so I'd finished everything because I wanted to get the length how I wanted it, and then I just thought, well, the sleeves will be what they will be depending on how much yarn I had left. So once I'd done all the bands and I then went to pick up my stitches for the arms, and the yarn I had left I split in two. So I split that one into two and that one into two, so I knew that I'd have exactly the same amount of yarn for each sleeve. And this in total is 50 grams, 30 of that, 20 of that, and it's managed to create a nice long sleeve. And exactly, look, that's what I had left. So it wasn't really yarn checking, because at one point I thought, oh, I'm only going to have really short sleeves, and then it was like, oh no, actually, yeah, 50 grams goes a long way, and with a really decent, long cuff. So I'm so pleased. I've managed to get a cardigan out of 3 skeins of DK yarn, and a decent size. You know, it's not tight, it's not short, it's exactly how I want it. I've created my buttonholes here as well, so I just need to pick some buttons. Don't really know what buttons I would have there, but that will be fun, picking them. Oh, it's really cozy putting it on and wearing it. So that has been a real success. I remember at the time thinking, I just got this one random skein, this one, thinking, well, what am I going to use it for? And now I'm seeing it, I'm just so pleased with it. Isn't that beautiful though, that yarn? Even this blue, there's flecks of black. It's really tonal. Yeah, and a nice neckband. So yeah, I'm super over the moon. It's a really simple pattern, that Felix pattern, and it's just this bit, it's having either stitch markers in the right place or making sure, you get these lacy bits right. But even if I didn't have that and it was just a plain cardigan, it's such a nice shape. Yeah, I liked where this sat, under your armpit. It didn't feel like it was too far out. It really did feel like it fitted nice. And when I was working down on the decreases, for my size, you had to do a decrease round on every 8th round. And after the 7th round, I would keep putting this on just to see, is it, because I didn't want it skin tight, but I didn't want it massive either. And it was perfect for me. So every eight rounds for decreasing worked out lovely. And the cuff, it's just, everything just fits so nice. That doesn't always happen for me. So, and don't tell anyone, but I didn't swatch. So I just went for it. I just looked at the sizes. I looked at the size of me, and went for the 3rd size. So really pleased. I even love the inside. And the thing, or the joy of this as well, is that when I do stripes, especially with a cardi, because you knit one way and you purl the back way, I do that with one colour. So it's like doing 2 rounds or 2 stripes. And so where all my ends were, and I can't remember which was the side it was, might have been that side, I would just carry that yarn up, because you're literally just going up, you know, two rows. So I'd do my knit and my purl, and then I change to the contrast colour, knit and a purl, and then go back. And so those two yarns were just kind of, you know, overlapping. So there was no end, well, there is ends, but not, you know, an end up here and an end down there. So that was really, really enjoyable as well. Oh, I love it. That smells nice too. So the plan is maybe this weekend, it's Friday today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, yeah, I might pick up my other sleeve stitch and get it finished. Now when I look back to my little notes on here, I've got it all ready, you know, so all I know I have to do is just be marking off my rounds, and I know that my sleeve will be exactly the same. So like here, 2 rounds per colour, and then the D is the decrease, and the 1 was denoting the blue yarn, and 2 was denoting the contrast yarn, and reminded me as well to change to smaller needles for the cuff. So I used a 6mm for the main body and a 5mm for the cuff, and for the button band I made that on a smaller needle as well. And it feels quite loose, it's quite a loose gauge. But whereas the 6, you know, that, I suppose it is it's a bit loose, isn't it? So yeah, it's all personal, isn't it? I could have done a smaller gauge, but in fact it's worked out exactly how I wanted it, and has managed to use all the yarn up, you know. I'm not even going to have any scraps to put into anything else. It's literally all going into this, and that is a lovely, lovely feeling. Yeah, I'm so pleased. Can you tell? Right, so they're the 4 projects I'm working on, and I think I'm not going to really cast on anything else until I've finished that cardigan and possibly finish the cowl as well. The blankets will just go on as long as they need to go on. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with all of those makes. Right, I need to have a sip of tea. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to share with you is a book that I've read recently. On Vlogmas, I was showing you that I'd read The Murder on the Christmas Express. It was a book that I was reading with other friends. And I don't know if I did chat about that on there. I did finish it. It was okay. I probably wouldn't recommend it. It was all right. It was an easy read. But let's go back to the other book. So this is the book that I've read recently, and I absolutely loved it. Love Me, Love Me Not by Kirsty Capes. Now, I also read that book last year, and I really raved about that. Careless. The author, I don't know if her job or she has got background in social work or children in care, because her kind of knowledge of, you know, real life experience really comes through. This is a story about a woman who finds out late in life that she was adopted, and other things have happened in her life as well that have kind of made her be the person she is, and she feels a bit lost. She doesn't really know what her identity is and who she is, and it's a really lovely book. I loved it. It's a book about relationships, about work, about family. So I love all that. Bit of romance, but it was really, the character, you know, were really, all the characters were really, really good, and I just think Kirsty is fantastic at female characters. You know, despite going through trauma, ultimately they can be really strong women as well. It doesn't have to be, you know, doom and gloom and there's no hope, and that's what I really love, because we all experience ups and downs, don't we? And it doesn't have to kind of define us, but it makes us the person we are. And also you can recover from things, you know. Obviously some things are absolutely awful and traumatic, but it just shows that the human spirit, or, you know, your support group or support network you've got around you and your inner strength can really see you through things. So yeah, I loved it. I really loved it, and I would highly recommend her writing. I don't know if she's written any more, but yeah, she's brilliant. So yeah, check her out. Yeah, so that's probably it. How long? 25 minutes. Okay, so that's not too bad, especially after I'd already done Vlogmas and Vlogtober as well. So I'm hoping, yeah, you're all up to date with everything that I've been working on. Sorry I can't show you the things that I finished, but that's all in my Vlogmas videos. Yeah, because I made a fantastic granny wrap shawl, which I absolutely loved. And that was a Scrappy one as well, but it was just beautiful. And again, that's on my Vlogmas if you go back and watch that. And I gave that to my mum for Christmas, and she loved that too. I made that really as a bit of a test to think, yeah, is this something I'd like? Because I've also got some really beautiful yarn that I would like to make another one out of. So yeah, anyone check her out. It's Anna Boo's House. It's a free pattern, the granny wrap. Oh, it's just lovely. It's a lovely triangle shawl that you can make with any weight yarn and make it as big as you want. And I love a triangle shawl. Talking about what I'm wearing as well, I'm wearing my Trescao sweater. This is my old favourite. It's a bit of a comfort blanket. It's far too big. You know, it's very, very big, but it's lasted amazing, and there's no pilling at all. I never have to de-pill it. The brown is JC Rennie, it's lamb's wool, and I held it double to make it DK. And I wash this in the washing machine, and well, look, you've got a tiny bit there, but I've had this for a long, long time. So yeah, that Trescao pattern, I don't think I did it exactly as, oh look, there's another bit of pill in there after me saying there isn't, but it's not too bad, is it? So yeah, JC Rennie is the brown, and then every colour, look, this one is this, and this one is that. So these were all just leftovers from other projects, which I'm really, really happy with. Yeah. So I put this on, it's always really, really warm. I have got a thermal vest on underneath, but generally it is just my favourite. So it makes me think I probably need to make something in JC Rennie again, because that yarn is lovely. I remember at the time when I originally had made a colourwork jumper, which I was very bad at, and I undid it all. And I used that as one strand, and it was very thin, and I remember it being quite scratchy, but holding it double and maybe just over time, it's soft. It feels like merino, and it isn't, but it's lamb's wool, and it's lovely. And the fact you can machine wash it, I mean, yeah, it's making me think I might have to invest in some. It wasn't cheap, expensive. I remember getting that at Edinburgh Yarn Festival a long time ago now, and they were just small little balls. Yeah, but isn't it lovely with the stripes? And again, that's just pure luck with the yarn I had at the time, leftover yarns. Yeah, really happy. This as well is one of my favourite shawls. It's the History of Trees shawl, crochet, by Christina Haddering. I think she's a spoonful of yarn on Instagram, and she's literally about to release a new pattern, and I think might be called the Forest shawl or something. And the pictures, she's not showed any pictures of the actual shawl, but the kind of, you know, inspirational kind of photos are all in the forest. And I messaged her because I just said, this is my favourite shawl, and she said, I think you're going to like the next one as well. Obviously this is, you know, I've done this all in golds, and her original pattern was in green, because these are meant to be like trees, and they're like little trees. But yeah, I love it. I did make a bit of a mistake, but it doesn't matter. And it's a bit of an asymmetrical, so I have to kind of wrap it round and tie it in a knot. But yeah, I really love that when it just lays over your chest. Right, that was nice. So yeah, I think we're done, nearly half an hour. So yeah, I hope you're all okay. It's been a very wet, grey, cold beginning of the year. We've had so much flooding across the country as well. We've had this major storm as well. So yeah, I hope you're all okay. I hope you're all safe and well. And yeah, Happy New Year, and enjoy whatever craft you're working on, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you. Bye.